The Premier League title race is the gift that keeps on giving, no doubt about it. The drama is going to be filled throughout the weekend and the conversations will rumble on because I had to bring in the big guns for this one. Troy Deeney, Mike Greller, of course, Tony Meola, because Arsenal have taken a huge leap today in terms of trying to secure their first Premier League trophy in over 2 decades. But like I said, it's going to be rid of a lot of controversy and a lot of conversation. So, Tony, just give me your initial thoughts upon the victory away at West Ham.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing, right, to win the title here, it's going to be the difference is margins, small little margins, right? And one call goes your way, one call goes against you. And we had 2 battles today, right? One at the top of the table, one in the relegation zone, right? 2 teams fighting for 2 completely different objectives. But I think that's why we love this Premier League so much. And but yeah, it's going to be marred with a little bit of controversy for sure. Everyone's going to have an opinion on this.
No doubt about it. Gents, I just want to know in terms of how you feel. What did you feel initially? Grella, you know I usually come straight to you, but the smile on his face tells me that I need to just get an immediate reaction.
No, it was good. It was a great game of football to watch. It was exciting. I thought the referee got the call right, if I'm being totally honest. I thought it was a foul. I've got questions. That's why I said I got questions for Christina Unkel in regards to why games are reffed one way for certain games, and then you think back to the Man City Arsenal game when Gabriel and Haaland were just told, "Hey, go fight, go and have it." Haaland had his shirt ripped, everything, no foul, just carry on playing. So why is it ref one way for that game and another way for a different one? But all in all, Arsenal are doing what they've done all season. They've been solid. They've been compact. They've not been convincing, but they get the job done. So you have to give them credit. They've won the league. So fair play to them.
There's two train of thoughts. There's 2 camps. You can be in either one of them.
Yeah.
Right? You could be in they're getting the job done. They did exactly what they needed to do. They get another clean sheet. Raya, obviously, incredible performance. You can go that route, which for sure I feel that way. I feel connected to that. That has been a long time coming. They're organized, and you can go to the route that they stink. They stink to watch. They stink the way they play, the way they create chances, the way they limp over the line against West Ham. I think if you're a neutral, you look at that and you feel like, oh, they got bailed out again, or that you feel like the performance didn't really warrant the 3 points, because probably at the end of the day, if Fernandes scores that chance, it's 1-1, or maybe even West Ham going to win. But also, you could be in one of those 2 camps. At the end of the day, the table reads. You could read it anyway. Whatever camp you're in, the table is the table.
Just on that though, from a West Ham point of view, that Fernandes chance is huge. In the relegation battle, you know, all the life, all the energy was sucked out of that whole crowd. Because if he scores that chance, which I think he should, by the way. Tony, you're going to say it's a great save. I get it. He should score. As a striker, he should score. As a goalkeeper, you'll be happy.
He says the Fernandes chance, I say the Raya save. That's how I look at it. That's the difference.
These 2 could have this debate all day long, but you did say something that was really important, which was that, of course, this is riddled with controversy, so I need somebody that's going to add a little bit of an expert and balance to this. So, Christina Unkel.
Christina doesn't bring balance.
If you don't mind, Christina, I would love to hear your expertise and just your perspective, because no doubt about it, Arsenal will get the headlines for their win, and, of course, it's a big step towards the title. But that decision towards the end in terms of the Raya foul, what was your immediate reaction when you saw it?
So I didn't like it. It is the correct call. It is the correct decision by VAR, but I think I'm going to lean in on Troy just because I come from the same era to a certain extent. Yeah. I think I'm a little younger than Troy, but where we just want that to be.
Hey, but it's Mother's Day, so
Christina Sunday is destroyed.
But no, I mean, we just want that to be from just a pure football love, right?
Yeah.
We want that to be. We want it to be a great battle. I know you referenced, right, Man City and Haaland and that, what was happening. But for this, it is the correct decision. But this is where football has gone. This is where football has moved forward with the introduction of all of this technology, right? You have the goal line technology, balls in the back of the net, very clear, easy to decipher that. And when they started to put it into the cameras and to spin it, I was like, oh no, they're going to have for the arm across Raya's chest, basically above his arms, that's preventing him. And then when you have that kind of that grip right there, the left arm, that's as clear as you need to get from a refereeing standpoint to say there's too much video evidence. It would be very hard to defend this to public eye that this was not a foul. So that's why you could consider it a clear and obvious error. But if you were just to play this, there's a reason the referee didn't call the decision on the field. It's natural. It flows. Everyone's throwing it. You have another keeper in the mix, right? It kind of turns into one of those plays that it just anything goes. So correct decision. But I think I understand from your point on the football philosophy.
Yeah, and then just on that as well, when you see that still image there, you go, right, foul, no problem. But why the inconsistency? We keep talking to the technology, and I understand that, Christina, but that's still person by a human, right? There's a human on the other end saying, hey, go check this out, have a little look. Why is the inconsistency still there when for now, 6 years, we keep getting told the reason that technology has been brought in is to make it clear and obvious, is to help make the game speed up. In my opinion, watching the games, it's getting worse, it's getting more inconsistent, and it's taking longer to sort out. That took a long time to come to that conclusion, and we saw it after 2 looks. We said, okay, foul.
So in this situation, it's going to be a bit, I agree with you on this one. As soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure they're just going to be pulling 2 or 3 angles. But even when they sent the referee to the monitor, you can tell he was hesitating there for a bit. Actually, it was like, he might be coming out with no foul. Like, actually, that crossed my mind while I was watching it live. But when we talk about, to your point, the consistency, the introduction, right, there's always going to be that error, the element of human subjectivity as to what's clear and obvious. You know, what does the domestic professional game want versus the international game versus the confederation game, right? So styles are different between UEFA, CONCACAF, you know, CONMEBOL, AFC. Then the styles are different when you go to a full FIFA event. And then the styles could be different when, you know, you're here in Premier League.
Why though,
and
Christina?
what, you know,
Sorry to interrupt you.
expects.
Why? It's football. The game is the same. So why is the refereeing different over all of these different competitions that you just spoke about? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. No. It all comes down to exact questions that everyone else is asking, right? So to your point, I would argue 90% of it's consistently the same. The 10%, which is the ones we're arguing over, will really rely upon who the referee managers are, right, that are doing the instruction, who the stakeholders are, what they want to see in their game. And that's where you're going to get what we call points of emphasis, or things that are a little bit particular, a little bit different, right? So in Major League Soccer, there was one year where there was multiple, right, head injuries and collisions with goalkeepers, and all of a sudden there was that introduction that, you know, goalkeeper gets hit in the head, that's going to be considered a red card, right? And that was completely different than the rest of the world, but Major League Soccer wanted that. And that's where you can get some of that 10% inconsistencies as to what the game is acceptable domestically versus probably how we'd see it at a different competition. I'll throw CONMEBOL into it. I kind of laugh. You know, CONMEBOL is more about survival than it is necessarily about officiating to the laws of the game. But if you were a referee games like that in Argentina or in Brazil like that over in England, 2 completely different styles of game, 2 completely different management styles, and 2 different kind of expectations or acceptance of how the game should be played. And that's why you have some differences.
I think, Christina, the only outstanding question that I feel like is probably going to be on social media and probably the conversation will continue is, do you remember the incident that was on game week 1 against Manchester United? Very similar sort of incident involving a goalkeeper. I just want to know if you feel like there was any differences between why this one was a foul and maybe previously those weren't called in history.
Yeah, this one I could easily, for me, it was more of the arm is above, it's across his chest, right? It's actually kind of preventing, and then you have that small arm, basically arm. And these are such subtle nuances, I get it. Versus some of these other kind of aerial challenges, the ones you're referencing, where maybe there's some push and shoves, but it's on the lower body, it's underneath the arm. It's kind of a little bit more of a kind of 50-50 challenge when you're both reaching into the air. So when you're preventing a goalkeeper who's allowed to use their arms to play the ball in a fair manner, that's where some of those nuances exist.
Christina, a pleasure as always. Thank you so much for joining us on Mother's Day as well. I could probably imagine you were probably wanting to go back to your festivity and your family, so we appreciate the check-in.
No worries, we got Calcio and City I here coming up shortly, so I'm ready for that.
On that note, though, there is a lot of controversy around this, but I do want to focus on some of the important points as well, especially thinking that Leandro Trossard might have scored the most important goal in this season so far in an Arsenal shirt. Grella, where does he go from here, and how big of a goal could that end up being in terms of for the Arsenal's momentum?
Huge goal. There's a play in the game where Fernandes misses the chance I thought was a pivotal moment in the game. And West Ham flashed a couple balls across the box, and Raya goes like this, and he goes, calm down. Yeah. And we're all thinking, they need to win the game. They haven't produced a lot of chances. They haven't played really well. It was like a 50-50 game against West Ham. And Raya says, calm down. And I think he does that because he knows, and the whole team knows, and the whole organization knows, and the fan base knows that they're going to get something from somewhere, either a set piece or a broken play or whatever. So there is an art to that. There is a beauty to that they were able to be like, okay, we'll be composed. We know we're going to get something. And they create one moment. They create one moment in the later stages of the game. Ball comes across the Trossard, create a little bit of confusion in the box. You know, they back West Ham into their own box where now West Ham can't tackle. They got to be really careful. And Trossard shoots it at the target, takes a little deflection and goes in. But this is a microcosm of what Arsenal's season has been. Arsenal haven't played in one game from start to finish 90 minutes where you're like, wow, where you grab your son and you're like, watch these guys are awesome. No, this is how they've won games. Clean sheet, goalkeeper, one of their best players. If not, we can have the conversation, their best player. And then a broken goal, a chance that happens from a set piece or, keeping the ball alive or a deflection, boom, 1-0, thank you very much. So that's fine. The table, like I said, doesn't lie. So 79 points now, they control their own destiny, so you have to give the credit where credit's due.
Tony, I wonder if this point, if the conversation flips away from the narrative, we now having the wider discussion as to how good of a champions are these. Like, where does this weigh up? Is it more of Arsenal have earned this title, or have Man City and Liverpool and the other contenders thrown it away because of their inconsistency?
Yeah, that's so hard, right? Because we can go back to Liverpool's title and say Man City had a month where they didn't win a game. There's all these moments, right? And we were talking in the green. I still think it's all decided over 38 match days, right? And it's not often that the team that's in first place in December is always the team that ends up now. You got to play 38 games. The idea that Arsenal, they're not attractive to me. It's not my kind of football to watch. But I have a huge respect for Mikel Arteta and the way that they go about getting results, right? He figured out for me prior to this season, hey, we're really good at something that maybe we didn't use over the last couple of years, and that's restarts. And you can make an argument, because I think it's really ironic. They're getting a foul called in their favor right now to help them win a game, when throughout the entire season they've set more picks and more bumps, and there's been more fouls than anybody in the Premier League. It's almost undeniable, but they made an art of it, right? And that's why I respect Mikel Arteta. And for those who think that, I use the word pretty. Everyone has a different idea of what pretty football is, that it's going to change. It's not. If anything, it's going to get worse. It's going to get more bunkered in. But I got huge respect for what Mikel Arteta's done with his side. Yeah,
I echo that as well. Again, we have jokes, we have banter, as you know, and Arsenal fans don't really like me, and I don't really care. But either way, I actually sit there and go, yes, don't take nothing away from this Arsenal team. Even if I said they're going to win it, they're going to win it. We didn't take it away from Liverpool last year, even though people tried to. You still have to win it over the course of the year. Man City have made mistakes, no problem, but they've won it. I keep saying it, and I'll say it again. This could be like Rory at the Masters. Rory McIlroy wins the Masters. It's not pretty the first time. Oh, now I've got that bogey off my back. Now we go and we're expansive. And next season, and maybe the season after, Arsenal go on and win back-to-back. You never know, but they have the talent, they have the squads. But we're looking at it, and the problem we have is we look at the money spent, the players that they have. We would like to see more, but they keep winning. And you saw a microcosm of being at the top, but you get the rub of the green in terms of that could have not been given a foul, could have been a draw, or Fernandes could have scored, and maybe they win the game, or being at the bottom. You don't score those moments. You have real good play in terms of defensive play. One deflection off Souček goes in, lose the game 1-0.
Well, let's open up that kind of words about Fernandes, because you've highlighted that as almost the biggest moment of the game. What went wrong? I mean, I could tell you from a technical standpoint what I thought I saw, but you told me in terms of from his mentality why he wasn't able to convert that chance.
Honestly, I can't. To do what he did is harder. To miss the chance the way he missed it was harder. The build-up play, the link-up play was fantastic.
Look there. That picture tells you
he didn't miss it.
No,
safe.
But what he's doing there... Can we just go back to that other image before? I know we're probably on a bit of a loop, but the build-up play is fantastic before. He gets set. Look at that. He's leaning. His foot is actually facing that way. He's turned his foot to reverse it. He's made it harder. Again, great save from Raya. Let's take nothing away from Raya. Great save. Been the best goalkeeper for the last 2 years. Fair play to David Raya. Just purely from a West Ham point of view. The hard part is taking the touch. When he takes a touch past Gabriel, he's calm, he's set. He's leaning away. It's easier to push it into the far corner. He then goes, I'm going to be smarter than everybody. I'm going to reverse it. Misses it. Now, when you miss those moments as a player, it's a very lonely place. You want the earth to open up.
This is replaying in his head 1,000 times.
Exactly, because he knows not only... Forget the title race. Forget that. Relegation. Now... You've given all the advantage to Tottenham, who are on a bit of an upturn with De Zerbi going in. Also, Tottenham play tomorrow. Now, you're sitting at home watching that game going, what if we'd have scored? The worst part, and I've been in this situation, when you walk into the dressing room and everybody else in the dressing room is looking at you going, explain yourself. Tell us. What, because as a player, you want to win. So... For me, it's a big moment for them, and for me, that confirmed West Ham going down. For me, I know it's a bit too early to say, but I feel it is. Spurs are in a great place. Spurs' games are a lot easier than West Ham's.
Grella, what's your perspective on the remaining fixtures?
Yeah, I think You can look at the team. There's no easy games in the Premier League for sure. But the momentum of today was the big one, I think, for West Ham. And through 80 minutes, they had Arsenal right where they wanted them, kept them fairly quiet. They had a good game plan against them. They created the chance to win the game. And obviously, Fernandes also takes, for me, the extra touch. I know as an attacker, as I get closer to the goalkeeper comes bigger. And sometimes they can see your sequence so they can time how they come out. So all of a sudden, you got the whole goal. You take that one extra touch, all of a sudden, you don't have the extra space and the extra time that you thought. So fine. But now Tottenham, with the game in hand, they get something from the game tomorrow. You have to imagine that regardless of the remaining fixtures, Tottenham are the ones that are in the driver's seat for sure now.
I mean, I didn't enjoy the title race last year in the Premier League. I thought there was a little bit of boredom for me with the way Liverpool went out this year. This year's been fascinating, man.
It's been great.
Yeah, it's been so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it's been filled with dramas. Every corner has had its own page, and it's been incredible just watching it unfold. Troy Deeney has already designated Arsenal as the champions, but there's still remaining games.
You're an Arsenal fan.
I'm not answering that question right here on set. What we're going to do is we're going to close out and then let you decide whether or not Arsenal will be the definitive champions when it's all said and done for the 25-26 season.